Hey there. I thought I'd take a few minutes to talk about my latest gorgeous, sexy Bigfoot guitar. Bigfoot guitars are run, owned, lived, and breathed by Karan Singh, who lives in Gurgaon, and that's where he runs. That's where he runs Bigfoot guitars from his gorgeous workshop. They make acoustics, electrics, and the most amazing, open, and whole-sounding ukuleles. Now Karan is someone who's always messed around with tone woods, and we talked about sometime last year we talked about me getting a new guitar, and he said that he wants to build me a hollow body electric, but I said no, maybe wall of sound. Now I love hollow body electrics. I don't think you can ever have enough of them. They just play like acoustics, and it sounds like you can bring down an entire parking lot, arena, or an apartment block. So they're just amazing. But I needed something that was a little more wall of sound, and after much conversation, we came up with this gorgeous piece, which is his own design and built entirely by him. It's made completely of mango wood, and it has this lovely little drop top. You can see there, very clear line. That is mango wood from the crotch of the tree. Not how it sounds. So that's the guitar. Ebony on the fretboard, an ebony neck, an ebony headstock, and a gorgeous slender mahogany neck. The bonus, this guitar ended up looking like a bit of an owl, which just made me happy. The only thing sexier than the way she looks is the way she sounds. We'll get to that in a minute. The pickups are covered with Wenger wood, as you can see, nicely striated. Big shout out to Ezzy Pickups from Tel Aviv. When I was discussing with Karan what kind of pickups I wanted on this guitar, he said don't go with the Ghisa Pita stuff, there's always time to try brands, but try something new. Write to Ezzy. And Jonathan from Ezzy Pickups and I had this exchange of emails back and forth, and he said, so what do you want? I said, well, in a nutshell, something huge, big wall of sound, play a chord, ring notes on top of it, do what I want, thin it down, fatten it up. So aka Alex Lifeson. He says, okay, that's not a problem. We'll take our standard parallel humbuckers, I believe, and we'll overwind them for you and send them to Karan, and he'll mount and install them. Karan is someone who has always messed with tone woods, and in his little questionnaire that he sends to you or conversation that he has with you before making your guitar, he's already thinking of what kind of wood to base the guitar on. Wow. Well, adds up to my weird sense of humor. And yeah, this is what we got. So let's go through what kind of sound we get from this one. So the first bit we're going to do is go through 3 standard pickup positions, which is neck, both, and bridge, standard Les Paul style knobs, volume, tone. I'm running the guitar through a Fender Studio Valve 40 watt head, which is one tube and solid state baffle. So it's not entirely just hot, which is great, but not versatile enough. Through a 12-inch 30 watt Celestion speaker made by Muhammad Ansar back then when he was still running them as B3 and not Kayla. I don't think I'd trade this stack up for much. It sounds really great. We'll talk about the pedals later, but let's start. So what you've got is all knobs open, full sound. Sound, very bass heavy, very big fat sounding, and a little overpowering, which is great. It's about what you want to use it for. Let's go middle pickup quickly. See, a little more balanced with the trebs, mids, and bass stacking up really nicely, really sweet. If you're the only guitar in an ensemble with just bass sitting under you, if you're doing something singer-songwriter and you don't have an acoustic and you need to be plugged in, this is pretty fabulous for that, as you can tell. Sings nicely. Now, to just tweak it a notch, if you want that kind of sound that is really treb heavy, maybe those clean, very dirty sounding blues solos, if you know what I mean. It's this very slightly harsh popping but piercing sound of the highs, but it's for the sound you want. It's not everything. However, the tone knobs are very responsive, so if you want to dial that back a notch, very nice feather touch, and then you open it up, you roll it open completely, and it comes back. So supremely responsive on the tone knobs. Now, let's kick in some drive. I like my first stage of drive to be from the amp head, so that's why I've got this Fender going. I'm not an AC30 fan or your standard JCMs, not for this guitar anyway. But this is quite perfect. So I've got about 50% gain and 30% volume happening. Back up to the neck pickup. What you've got is this big clunky sound, so you move more with a it's very downstroke, patch smear, heavy, you know, big 12 gauge, let's clunk downstrokes for everything. Sure, a Bush song is not the best way to demonstrate patch smear, but you get the point. For that heavy backing tone that you want, that's not necessarily clear, but has a load of mud in it. Clean it up slightly, go middle position, both pickups. Again, they stack really beautifully, so when you go really sweet, or when you want to just ring over a chord where you go no dirt, just as they say, open it up and play open chords with full drive. Works really well. Now if you want to kick this a bit, what you do is, I've got an OCD full tone drive that I'm running, so let's see what we can do. Very powerful overwound pickups. I'm too close to the amp right now, so you essentially what you've got is sustain through the roof. It's pretty gorgeous that way. Now if you want to have your trebs really pop sitting right on top of everything that makes playing those solos and really boost it with some good old drive, you've got so you've got that. So if you're playing a little more metally stuff and you want to set it up accurately with your pedals and your amp, you don't even need to go active with these pickups. They sound just great. I mean, of course, the metal purists will say I need active pickups, but you know where I'm going with this. So another thing is that this she responds really well along with the pickups to a lot more dynamic playing. So when you really boost it and you're playing something where you go, that's with the drive. If you want to take it lower a notch, you've got very dynamically responsive. I think I've got an entire range of sounds in this guitar with the choice of wood. It rings for a century. The sustain is I mean, it's worthy of tears of joy. Um, Sustain is gorgeous. The range of sounds, right from bass to extremely trebly to dynamic, is all wonderful. As a solid body guitar, I think she's gorgeous. Of course, this is just a range of exploration that has happened when Karan and I spoke about the kind of guitar that I want. Speak to Karan. He's amazing. He listens and he can make some great suggestions as well. This is certainly not going to be my last Bigfoot. And while I will buy the classics, the Fenders, the Gibsons, that's going to happen. But I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up with a whole range of Bigfoot guitars for my collection. So yeah, why wait? Get a Bigfoot.